The whole street froze when it suddenly happened. Chrisean Rock fell to her knees outside a hospital in Los Angeles, yelling so loudly that her voice could be heard in the parking lot. The cause: it was too late for her to stop Child Protective Services from taking baby Junior. Her screams were so loud, according to witnesses, that medical personnel ran. Cars came to a standstill in the middle of the turn. Even holding their phones steady was difficult for some who were recording. Who was watching didn't matter to her. This was a mother's real-time breakdown, not for the cameras. "Please get him back," she clutched her chest as she sobbed. "I have nothing but him." And the video has since gone viral. Millions of people are watching in horror, despair, and shock as the spectacle plays out. However, how did we arrive here? What transpired in the hospital that caused this emotional outburst? Who gave the CPS the tip, and why did they act so quickly? Was that Blueface? Was it his relatives? Or was there something more sinister going on in the background? The responses are more unsettling than anyone anticipated. Everything you believe to be true about this story will be altered by what follows. You must return in order to fully comprehend the significance of what transpired outside that hospital. Because up until now, weeks of quiet tension, covert calls, and painful decisions that were kept out of the public light culminated in this emotional explosion. Chrisean Rock has always been a whirlwind of passion and unadulterated fire. The world has followed her every step, laughed at her, ridiculed her, and occasionally even cheered her on, from her ascent on reality TV to her turbulent relationship with Blueface. But something changed with the birth of baby Junior all of a sudden. The crazy girl who had gone viral became a mother struggling for stability. Her posts softened. Her energy was more concentrated. She discussed getting over the poison in her background, safeguarding her son, and healing. However, Blueface wasn't finished. Despite their breakup, his name continued to surface due to court documents, interviews, cryptic tweets, and incidents that led people to wonder if he truly wanted to co-parent or just steer the conversation. Then the turmoil in the household. In multiple online remarks, Blueface's mother, Carlissa, implied that baby Junior wasn't safe with Chrisean. People initially dismissed it as normal online trolling until 2 weeks ago, when a CP unexpectedly stopped by her home to check on her. That day, Chrissy went live, crying as she defended herself. "I'm doing my hardest," she sobbed. "They are attempting to take him away from me because I am not flawless." However, it wasn't the end. According to current sources, CPS has been keeping an eye on her ever since, watching, recording, and hearing anonymous reports. And the most unsettling aspect: according to a formal complaint purportedly submitted by someone close to her, baby Junior was in emotional danger. According to insiders, it was a member of Blueface's inner circle. According to a former acquaintance of Chrisean, she was constantly suspicious that they were planning something. She believed that those close to her were working against her, behind her back while feigning assistance. And it's possible that this paranoia was entirely reasonable. Fans observed her acting oddly online in the days before her hospital stay. Quiet, tearful, and extremely private. She then posted an ambiguous statement yesterday: "Pray for my baby, because they are trying to take everything away from me." Nobody anticipated this kind of explosion the following morning. She had brought baby Junior to the hospital for a standard examination. Nothing significant. Only a visit to the pediatrician. However, CPS officers were already waiting in the lobby when she arrived. Although the exact details of what transpired next are unknown, we do know this: her infant had already left the hospital by the time Chrissy left, and her screams sound was felt by everyone on that block. One of the most emotionally charged events in Chris Rock's life will be what transpired inside that hospital. It has now been confirmed by numerous sources that she was not aware that CPS had already been granted emergency custody. When she entered the appointment room with baby, Junior, the hospital visit was the culmination of a discreet legal proceeding that had taken place behind her back. Everything felt normal when the nurse called her name. Wearing large sunglasses and a tight-fitting hoodie, she held a little bag in one arm and baby Junior in the other. However, the atmosphere shifted the moment she entered that pediatric room. A hospital social worker was on either side of two plainclothes CPS officers who had already entered. They didn't speak louder, they didn't cause any trouble, they just informed her, "We must speak." Protocol questions regarding her living situation, emotional health, and recent social media activity kicked off the talk. However, the bombshell followed. One agent produced a folded emergency order that had been signed by a family court judge. She no longer had custody of baby Junior. She initially chuckled incredulously. "Isn't this a joke? You guys aren't serious. I am his mother." However, her laughing faded to shaky quiet as they read the report's facts aloud, which mentioned suspected family friction, emotional instability, and a pattern of escalating distress. "Who made that statement?" she inquired. They refused to inform her. At that point, she began to lose it. "He needs me. He doesn't even sleep without me," she murmured, her voice cracking, according to medical staff. She screamed when they informed her that he would be placed with a temporary caretaker. "For the time being, you're not taking him? No. Over my lifeless body." They called security. A nurse attempted to soothe her. She was already crashing to the ground, crying and clutching baby Junior as closely as she could, but it was too late. Her one last chance, "I love you. Mommy's going to fix this, okay?" she whispered as she repeatedly kissed his forehead. Afterward, they abducted him. She crashed onto the sidewalk outside the hospital after running out the emergency exit. That's where the video that went viral and is currently taking over timelines worldwide was shot. This is where the twist comes in, though. An hour after the video went viral, a fresh voice joined the discussion. Blueface. He wrote in a since-deleted tweet, "I told you all. PS doesn't appear out of the blue." Supporters were split. Some said he started this by using CPS as a weapon to manipulate her or get even with her. Others stood up for him, arguing that perhaps he truly worried about baby Junior's safety. But then the screenshot was leaked. Blueface is accused of texting one of his close pals last week, according to a message given to a gossip blog by an anonymous tipster. "She is slipping. I've started something. See what occurs the following week?" If the screenshot is authentic, it would indicate that Blueface was aware of this and might have even assisted in its execution. It exploded on the internet. A fan posted on Twitter that, "Is sabotage not co-parenting?" Someone else wrote, "He continued to tweet criticism while observing her pass out over their child. He's finished." Although Chrissy's camp has not yet released an official statement. One of her close pals shared on social media, "You guys have no idea how much she has been hiding. They are now attempting to break her." And if it wasn't sufficient, an anonymous CPS source said that the complaint was not submitted by an unknown individual. It originated from an individual who was identified as a family relation by paternity. Interpretation: investigation was formally requested by someone on Blueface's side. Some people think it was his mom. Others, with legal representation, think it might have been Blueface himself. And now, the fight isn't emotional anymore. It is lawful. Lawyers are becoming engaged. Social workers are completing paperwork. As well as Chrisean. According to reports, she is preparing for a legal battle to reclaim her child. However, time is running out with CPS in temporary custody. Can she fight her way back in time? Or has she already been permanently shut out of the system? The events that transpired in the hours following the removal of baby Junior sent shockwaves well beyond the hospital parking lot. The footage had previously been viewed online. The cries, the breakdown, the heartache. However, something much darker was simmering in the background. Several sources claim that the CPS order was supported by surveillance and private recordings. rather than being only prompted by nebulous worries. Indeed, there was someone who had been surreptitiously collecting clips of Chrisean inside her house. An unnamed informant told a gossip website there was more than one incident involved. They had footage from weeks ago. Someone was keeping a tight eye on her, is the query that's currently consuming every social media feed. Why and by whom were the cameras planted? Supporters were quick to blame. Blueface's mother, Carlissa, was the name that kept popping up at the top of trending lists. She accused Chrisean of acting wild around the infant in a video that she uploaded only 2 weeks ago. She asserted that she had witnessed things that would make any mother worry. Most people at the time wrote her tirade off as cloud chasing. Right now, with one terrifying remark, that video has been reposted over 1 million times. Did she have this warning prior to the ambush? However, the most surprising development occurred when a burner Twitter account purportedly connected to a member of Karen's inner circle shared this. "I informed you that we have receipts. CPS won't move unless you present them with proof." Images of that post went viral. People are now certain that surveillance evidence, in addition to testimony, was provided by someone inside Blueface's camp. But it grows darker still. It's video material recorded inside the home that reflects a lack of structure, emotional volatility, and an unstable support system was reported in a leaked CPS report that a blogger was able to get. How did they obtain film from inside? Was there a covert nanny cam? A camera that has been hacked? A ruse by someone posing as a friend? Although no one is certain, it is said that Chrisean's inner circle is incensed. A buddy shared. She opened her house to visitors. She had faith in people who stabbed her in the back while grinning in her face. However, the legal system is moving quickly on the what as the internet disputes the how. 3 days from now, a court hearing for the emergency. Custody review has already been set. Additionally, in a heartbreaking update, Chrisean may be placed in long-term foster care if he doesn't meet the CPS requirements within the week. That isn't a short-term solution. That calls for visits under supervision. This entails evaluations, ordered by the court. It entails months or perhaps years of being apart. And supporters are in full-blown panic mode as a result. There's a new popular hashtag. #BringBabyJr home videos are being posted by influencers pleading with their fans to back Chrisean. Some are contributing to funds for legal aid. Blueface and his family are being criticized by others for what they describe as a calculated takedown of a struggling mom. However, Blueface is also not remaining silent. He doubled down in a late night Instagram Live. "She was overly busy. I needed to call. That also applies to my son. I'm not going to wait for a negative event to occur." He omitted names. No disclosures were confirmed by him. However, he did not refute the charges either. Anything you want to say is acceptable, lest something is present. CPS doesn't migrate. One eerie line marked the conclusion of the live stream. "Saving your child from his own mother is sometimes necessary." The reaction was immediate. Comments were flooding in. "You manipulated her. You won by using the system. This control isn't love." Even Blueface's own followers had differing opinions. He did what any father would, according to some. Others claimed that rather than protecting a youngster, this was a planned attempt to reclaim control. Chrisean has gone black in the meantime. Not a single post, nothing to say. A single Instagram story with white text on a black screen. "See how I'm rebuilding after you broke me." And the stakes are bigger than ever with the court date approaching. Since the dispute over custody is no longer the only one, her child, her reputation, and her sanity are all at stake in this battle. This time, it's not only fans who are causing a stir on the internet. Social professionals, reality TV personalities, influencers, and celebrities are all offering their opinions on the drama that transpired outside that hospital. The public is divided between those who think that Chrisean Rock was unfairly singled out and others who think that the CPS may have acted out of concern. But they all agree on one thing. It happened in a chilly manner. Viral TikToks are criticizing the system for ambushing her during a hospital visit and displaying violations of CP's regulations. With more than 2 million followers, one viral creator stated that was a takedown, not protection. And they took advantage of her weakness. The timeline is overflowing with hashtags. Hashtag standby Chrisean, hashtag bring baby JR home, hashtag defense of Black mothers. Even some famous people have voiced their opinions. The video of Chrisean collapsing was uploaded by Summer Walker, who wrote, "This devastated me. Women endure a great deal. You guys aren't even aware of half of it?" Masika Kalisha, a reality celebrity, tweeted, "They actually waited until she was less defensive. She was improving." This was incorrect. Then came the shocking moment on the Shade Room's live panel when a former CPS employee entered the discussion, anonymously, and asserted, "On paper, we're under pressure to make well-known removals appear flawless. However, it can be political at times. It all depends on who called at times." Fans were taken aback. Was power more important than safety in this removal? People are going over Chrisean's recent lives again, in group chats, forums, and threads, in search of clues or anything that would explain what transpired, and the majority are not discovering anything. She liked that baby, despite her chaotic nature. One Reddit member wrote, "She was trying. A lot of us moms are messy in private." Someone else retorted, "We would all be in trouble if cameras followed us around all the time. Professionals have even taken over." A prominent Black family therapist posted on Twitter, "A struggling mother shouldn't be helped in this way. One can be traumatized in this way." But some are standing up for CPS. A family law specialist explained emergency custody in a thread. There had to be documented concerns if the judge approved. "We don't have access to the entire file, but that doesn't mean it wasn't warranted." However, there is still a strong popular attitude of sympathy for Chrisean, particularly after hospital audio leaks occurred. You can hear her crying in the video, which was purportedly captured by a bystander. "He's my baby, and he only knows me." Her voice carries genuine pain, uncooked, indisputable. Even people who typically oppose her are taking a break. Podcast broadcaster who has previously criticized Chrisean stated, "I may disagree with her living style. But what did they do today? That was incorrect. That was a demonstration of trauma." Additionally, Blueface is under increasing strain as the public support grows. There is a lot of criticism of his social media posts. People are accusing him of planning everything and portraying him as the antagonist in a rapidly escalating plot. One remark on his most recent post read, "You failed to keep your son safe. You disciplined her." And possibly the most startling aspect, even Blueface's sister tweeted something mysterious, "You don't cross some lines." Even as retaliation, the world is now waiting and watching. Only a few days remain till the court hearing, as well as the general public. They're appearing in unexpected ways, petitions, contributions, messages of encouragement. Because it's not just about baby Junior at this point. It is about every mother who has ever felt that the system does not see her, listen to her, or protect her. The final surprise struck more forcefully than anyone had anticipated, right when it seemed like the dust might be beginning to settle. Inside the hospital's protected database, a private film that was never intended for public consumption was released. The video, a brief, quiet video recording from a hallway camera. It depicts Chrissy carrying baby Junior in her lap while she sits in the pediatric waiting area. She's not shouting, not pacing, not behaving erratically. She's whispering to him while softly rocking him. However, what followed was what shocked folks the most. A nurse approaches her and leans in to talk. Chrissy nods, smiles courteously, and begins to collect her belongings. She didn't know what was in that rear room waiting for her. The internet exploded. One supporter tweeted, "This video proves she wasn't out of control." Before she even spoke, they acted as though she posed a threat. Celebrities, bloggers, and even legal advocates shared the video within minutes, demanding an internal CPS review. Now, some are calling for an inquiry into the manner in which this removal was carried out. Then, as if the universe couldn't get any more sinister, a voicemail from someone inside CPS was leaked. In it, a worker complains that the situation was handled too quickly. She didn't even have an opportunity to reply, so I'm not happy with how that turned out. We simply departed after taking the baby. This is more than simply a mess. It is explosive. Legal experts now speculate that Chrissy's side might be getting ready to file a lawsuit, claiming wrongful removal and emotional harm in addition to custody reclaim. And here is the bit that no one anticipated. According to reports, a well-known Hollywood lawyer who is renowned for winning high-profile celebrity cases has contacted Chrissy's team and offered pro bono defense. Yes, without charge. The public support for her has grown so strong that some of the most well-known legal figures are now entering the battle. In the meantime, Blueface shared yet another mysterious message. You're only seeing one side of things. Hold off till the truth is revealed. Some others think he's getting ready to release his own video. Others believe he is bluffing, attempting to exert control over a story that is eluding him. However, the most pressing query at hand is this: how is the court going to proceed next? Despite the mayhem, will the judge offer Chrisean another chance? Or is the system going to double down and take away the one thing she has been clinging to since everything else broke down? Baby Jr., the court countdown has started. Internet users are holding their breath. As well as Chrisean, she hasn't said anything. However, people close to her claim that she is no longer crying. She is making plans. Since the battle is far from over, it's only the beginning. It's your chance to talk now. Do you believe CPS overreached itself? Did the public fail to notice something? Or was Chrisean unfairly singled out? Blueface crossed the line between care and control, or should he have intervened as he did? Don't hesitate to share your opinions in the comments section. There is actual suffering, actual processes, and actual repercussions here. This is not merely drama. If witnessing that video outside the hospital broke your heart, if you think all mothers should have an equal opportunity, if you were even somewhat offended by seeing baby Jr. being taken away, then press that like button now. Be supportive, be unified, because we are sometimes the ones who voice the loudest support, not the courtroom. Because this tale isn't finished, please subscribe and enable notifications. Only a few days remain till the court date. And we'll be discussing every round, leak, and action as it occurs. And don't worry, there will be more. Rumors of insider, witnesses, covert recordings, and a legal action that might completely change the course of events are circulating. A narrative like this one doesn't end peacefully. Remain locked in, because everything could change with the next update.